All right, today let's talk about contracts for your small business or side hustle and why you absolutely have to have one. Hi, I'm Emily. I get paid to party. I run a handful of party service businesses out of my house. I show you guys the behind the scenes of how you can be making hundreds to thousands of dollars a week from home. So follow along if you're interested. Okay, so rental contracts, contracts of any kind, event contracts, anything like that. They are extremely important. You have to have them no matter how small your side business is. We have touched on rental contracts a lot because I do a lot with the rental industry, and I've explained the importance of having one, and that's because it's going to protect you in the event that someone damages or destroys your rental items or doesn't bring them back. That's how it outlines how you make sure that you get paid in those events. So obviously it's really important for the party rental industry, but it's important for any industry, and let me explain why. We have contracts for our foam parties, for our Nerf war parties, for the bouquet bar, for the game truck, anything we do with a customer, there's going to be a contract. And there's several reasons. A, it's an added layer of protection for you. If anything goes wrong, you and the customer have agreed on what you are both going to do. And so there's no like going back and forth and being like, well, I'm not, you don't have to pay for that or whatever. You signed the contract that laid out all the details. This is very cut and dry. That's one thing, and they're good for helpful with insurance and that sort of thing. But also it's a layer of protection for the customer as well. And that's something I sometimes have to point out to them is like, look, if I don't do what I'm agreeing to do in this contract, you also can have legal action and a way to protect yourself. It is a very good thing for both parties to have an agreed upon contract. Also, if you want to do business with corporations, with schools, with like parks, government entities, anything like that, they all expect you to have a contract. You have to have something in writing that lays out exactly what you're going to do and what you're agreeing to. So they're very important. I do have contracts available at my Etsy shop at the link in my bio. We have a party rental, we've got contracts for everything. I just added the Nerf wars and the foam and the bouquet bar. So those are all on there. Now I try to make them really affordable. They're $8.99. They're templates. You can go in and put your information in. Just know that every state or county has different rules or laws, so you may need to add stuff to yours that I don't have to have here in Arizona. That's why it is a template. I am not an attorney. I had some legal consulting on this, but always do your due diligence for your area and do your own work there. But I try to give you something cheap and easy to start from so that it is framework for getting your business off the ground quickly, because some contract is better than no contract. Okay, some of the things that the contracts are going to cover is going to be like deposits and payments, cancellation or refund policy, weather rescheduling. That's a big one you want in there. We don't have a ton of weather issues here in Arizona, but you always want that in there so that if something happens, it's already laid out how you're going to proceed. Safety requirements for the location that you're going to. If it's like an event, there's different safety requirements for a foam party, obviously, versus a Nerf war party. So those have different safety requirements. It's going to go over what you're going to do for setup and breakdown and what you need from the customer, such as like for a foam party, I need certain amount of access to a water line and to electricity within a certain distance. It lays all that out. Liability and assumption of risk, those are all covered in there. Property damage provisions, lots of terms and conditions. I have added clauses of things that pop up that I hadn't thought of, and so these are pretty thorough at this point because there's lots of things to cover. So just know that you need a rental contract of some sort or an event contract, depending on what business you're doing, to look professional and give you an added layer of protection, as well as guide you and the customer if things go wrong, how you're going to proceed. It's very, very important for your business. All right, ask me any questions you've got.